Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. This is Sushma, Business Manager at iNogic, and today I'll be presenting to you the latest feature that we have added to our latest release, January 2022. All lines will be muted during this webinar. If you have any questions, you can just use the chat window to type in your queries. And at the end of the webinar, we'll be having a Q&A session as well. Before we dive into the session, let me give you a quick brief about iNogic. iNogic is one of the leading service providers in an ISV. We have been into the business for more than a decade now, and our blogs are also well known among the CRM community. Apart from Maplytics, we also have been focusing on building productivity apps which reduce multiple steps in CRM with one-click solutions. You can see a few of our offerings listed on the slide over here. Besides developing apps, we are also a system integrator and we assist our partners and customers with offshore development services. If you would like to discuss any requirements for the same, you can contact us at crm@inogic.com. So let's move on to Maplytics. And Maplytics is a locational intelligence tool that will help you to visualize your dynamic CRM entity records on the map. It uses the power of Bing Maps and it is available for CRM 2013 and above, Dynamics 365, online, on-premises, partner-hosted, IFD, and Dataverse. So let's have a look on today's agenda. So we'll start with a quick overview over the features to be covered for today's webinar, which will be followed with the live demonstrations of all the features individually. I'll also launch a poll where you can vote for the features that you like the most. And at the end of the webinar, we'll be having a Q&A session. So this is the list of the features. This is the major features that we have added to our latest release, January 2022. So we'll start with the first feature, which is the real-time tracking. So this feature will help you to track your sales reps into the real time, as well as you will be able to visualize the routes that were traveled by your sales reps in the past days. The second feature that we have into the list is the multi-address support. So if you have saved the multiple addresses for your records into the CRM, you will be able to visualize your records and their presence on the map over multiple locations with this feature. Next, we'll be seeing how to see the entity image while you click or hover on any of the records that are plotted on the map. Further, we will see the feature of multi-search layer. So this feature, as the name suggests, it will help you to visualize your dynamic CRM entity records based on multiple search layers all together at once into the single map into the form of layers. The second last feature that we have onto the list is the route to a record. So this feature basically provides you a route created automatically from your current GPS location to a record that you want to go to meet. The last feature that we have on the list is the individual map. So into this release, we have added some enhancements to the individual map. Individual map basically helps you to visualize your dynamic CRM record into the form of push pins on the map. And apart from it, you will also be able to see the related records plotted in the same map. So let's start with the live demonstration. So the first feature that we have on the list is the real-time tracking. So the real-time tracking will help you to visualize the movement of your salespeople on the field into the real time, as well as you'll be able to see the routes traveled by the sales rep into the past as well. So for this feature, especially we have created the real-time tracking app of Maplytics. So you will be able to download this app from your Play Store or the App Store, and you can install this app into the phone, the tablets or the phones. So after installing it, you can just open it and use the credentials of your CRM and sign into your CRM to see the screen of real-time tracking app. So it will ask your location. We can just use the required option over here and select to provide location. Now here you can see, once you log into your credentials, you open this real-time tracking app, you'll be able to see your location plotted on the map in the form of pushpin right there in the map. Now here into the settings, if you go, you will be able to see the option of enabling a tracking. So here you can enable the tracking option. So while the salesperson are out on the field, they are starting to travel to follow a route to meet various clients on the field. So while starting their day, they can just use this option to enable the tracking. Once they use this option and enable the tracking, this will start saving their locations into the CRM. Now here you can also notice there's an icon for the dynamic CRM. So here, just by these real-time tracking app, you can also switch to your dynamic CRM app as well. And after you have enabled the tracking into the real-time tracking app, you can just switch to the dynamic CRM app. And within this, you can just plot your route and go ahead with your day and meet all of the clients. Once you have completed the schedule for the day, you can come back and you can just disable the tracking. So after the people have your sales people have enabled the tracking, the sales manager can come up to the CRM and open the detailed map to track the movement of the sales people into the real time. So here I am into the CRM and I can just go for the detailed map over here. Now into the detail map, I'll be plotting my users, the sales rep who have gone on the field to meet all of the clients. So here you can see all of the list of the entities that I have into the CRM. So I can just choose the user entity over here, and here I'll be choosing the respective view. So this will plot the sales reps into the map. So here you can see one of my sales rep has been plotted. If I click on the push pin, here you can see two buttons have been provided for the feature of real-time tracking. So first is the today's plan and the second is the location history. So basically you will be able to track your salesperson for today itself into the real time as well as any day into the past. So for example, if I click on the location history, here you can see the calendar. Basically you can select any day into the past and you'll be able to see which route has been traveled by your salesperson on that particular day. Now here you can see the time also can be selected, which means that if you want to track your salesperson for a specific time duration into a specific day, you can do so. So here you can just choose the time, let's say from 10 a.m. in the morning and 4 p.m. To the 4 p.m. in the evening, you can just select the respective time. So here I can click on search and this will plot the route, the tracking of the salesperson on the map. So here you can see that the route has been plotted and here you can see that the route has been plotted and you can see there are two colors. So what are these two colors? So here if I go for the layer menu, here you can see that this just a second here. So you can see if I just deselect this, you can see this is the route that was given, that was assigned to this particular salesperson to follow on that day, right? And if I just deselect this and I enable this, so here you can see this is a different color, this is a purple color. This is the actual route that was traveled by the salesperson on that day, which means that here with this feature of real-time tracking, you will be able to see what is the route that was assigned to the person to follow and what is the actual route that was actually followed by the salesperson on that day, right? So here you can see there's a slight deviation into the route, which means that you will be able to track your salesperson even if the salesperson didn't follow the route. They can just, you'll be able to see the deviations as well where the salesperson actually went on that day, right? Now here you can see some push pins are there. So these are the individual appointments, the customers that the salesperson went to meet. So here you can click on the appointment push pins, you can see further details about those appointments, right? So I'll just close this location history and now let's go for the today's plan. So here if I click go for today's plan, I can just click on it and this will plot the respective plan for today for the salesperson. So here also you can see the routes has been plotted into two different colors. right? So here you will be able to understand that one route is the, so this blue route is the route that was given, that was actually traveled by the particular person, the sales rep, and this purple route is the route that was actually given to the salesperson, right? So this is how you will be able to track your salesperson based on the deviation the person has took as well, right? So here you can see this is the today's plan. Now this is very helpful while your salesperson is out on the field into the real time. Let's say your salesperson is right now traveling on the field, so you will also be able to see this push pin of your salesperson moving around on the map into the real time, according to the movement of the salesperson on the field, which means that you're able to track your salesperson into the real time, right? So this will also help you. Let's say you find any person, any sales rep to be idle for some time, you can just contact the salesperson and you can assign an additional appointment for the rep, right? So this is how you will be able to assist your salesperson, help the salesperson to increase the productivity into the real time. So this was the feature of real time tracking, and let's move on to the next feature that we have on the list, which is the multi-address support. So multi-address support, as the name suggests, you will be able to plot the records based on multiple addresses. If you have saved multiple addresses for your records into the CRM, you will be able to choose them and plot the same. So let's say I'll just choose one of my personal views over here. Now here you can see into the latest solution of Maplytics, you will be able to see a new icon over here. This is the icon for multi-address support. If you click on this, this will allow you to select the addresses over here. So you can see I have saved two addresses into my CRM records. So I have billing address and shipping address. So to enable us to be able to select these records, these addresses into this particular list, what I can do is that I can do the settings so that my addresses should be visible into this list. So to do so, you can just go to the entity maps. So for entity maps, you can just come up to the Maplytics app, then go to settings and go to the entity maps. Now here you have to go to the respective entity map of the entity for which you are working for. So here we have plotted the accounts entity, we have chosen the account entity. So I'll go for the entity maps for the accounts. So here into the entity maps, if I go for the attribute mapping, here you are much familiar of how to select the address fields for your addresses into the CRM, right? So here you can see now into the latest release, we have added an option to add the name for the address as well. Now here you can also select a push pin to represent your respective address. And here you can also select a color for the respective push pin. Now here, if I just scroll down, you can notice that I have added another address over here. I have added the shipping address as well. I have selected a particular push pin and the color that I want to represent these records based on the shipping address. Now here, if I scroll down more, you can see the button for add new address, which means that coming on to attribute mapping, you can just click on the add new address option that will allow you to add multiple addresses into this section of attribute mapping. Now here, with the help of this feature, I have added two addresses over here, shipping address and billing address. So based on this configuration, this window will be showing me the respective addresses listed over here, right? So I can just select these addresses and I can click on OK and I can click on search. So this will plot my account records from that particular view based on two addresses. Now here you can see two different push pins have been plotted. So you can go for the view data grid, and here also I'm able to see that my records have been plotted based on the two addresses, billing address and the shipping address, right? So these push pins that you see, these have come from the settings that you have done into the entity map. I can also go for the layer menu over here and I can see which push pin is representing which of the address. So here you can see that light purple push pin is showing me the records that are plotted based on billing address, and this push pin with green color is representing the records that have been plotted based on the shipping address, right? So this is how you can just deselect or select. You can just use this toggle button to show and hide your data that you want to focus on, and you'll be able to plot your data based on multiple addresses at once on the same map using this feature. Now let's say I want to plot these multiple addresses into a confined shape or a region on the map. So for that, let's say I'll go for the by region. So I can use any of these options like by region, by drawing, or even by territory to plot a confined region on the map, right? So I can just use the by region for now, and here I can choose any of these options. Let's say I want to plot the records into certain postal codes. So I can just use the values of the postal code. I can just put some values. I can just put the country, and I'll click on search. So here you are able to see the boundaries of the regions that I have entered has been plotted on the map, right? And because I have selected the multiple address feature, this has plotted the push pins into two colors based on the two different addresses, right? Now here, if I just click on the individual region, you are able to see the summary card for that particular region as well. Now here you can see the total number of push pins that have been plotted on the map, which is 22. And here, because we have selected this feature of multiple addresses, here you are able to see the classification of the count of the records based on the two addresses as well. So you can see how many records have been plotted based on the billing address, and how many push pins have been plotted based on the shipping address. Now here into this section, this will give you the sum and average of any numerical value that you have set into the entity maps, right? Now these calculation of the sum and average values come from the unique number of records. So you can see how many unique number of records are there, and based on this it has given the sum and average of the annual revenue and the sales. So this is how you are able to see the records based on multiple addresses, uh, along with the feature of the by drawing, by region, or by territory, to see those records into the respective regions that you want, and you will be able to see the summary card as well based on the unique count of records. So this was the feature of multiple address. Let's move on to the next feature that we have on the list, which is to view the records image on the map. So let's say you have a lot of records that you have images saved into them. So here, let me just plot the records over here. So this feature basically increases the user friendliness. If you have records plotted on the map that have images saved in it, you can just hover on the push pin. You can further click on the push pins to see the images of the records as well. So this basically helps you to recognize the push pin very quickly if you have the images saved into the record, and you can just click on it, or you can just hover on the push pins to see the images for those records. So this makes it easier for you to recognize your records that you have plotted on the map. Now let's move on to the next feature that we have onto the list, which is the multi-search layer. So here, let me just go for the detail map control. So I'll just switch to the detail map control. Just a second. So here I'll switch to the detail map control. So detail map control is basically a PCF control that I have added to this particular entity. Now here you can see that this particular view will be plotted by default on the map. So this is a PCF control, and it's very easy. It's just take 2 minutes for you to just add the control to the entity, right? After you add the control, you are able to perform Maplytics features right here on this map without switching to any other map pages. So you're able to do Maplytics features, perform Maplytics features on your CRM data within this dataset page itself. Right. So this is the benefit of this using this PCF control. So within this PCF control, we have added the feature of multi-search layer, which means that you are able to search your data based on multiple searches like by region, by drawing, all together into the same map, right? So here, let's say I want to search for the records that are handled by my salesperson according to the region that is the responsibility of my salesperson. So I'll go for the by region over here, and I can choose any of these options. So let's say I want to plot the postal codes that have been handled by my salesperson. So here I can just choose postal code, and here I'll just put some values of the postal code, and let's say I'll just put 3 postal codes, and I'll put country over here, and I can click on search. So I have put 3 postal codes that are being handled by my salesperson. So now I am able to see the records that are handled by my salesperson one. Right. So here I can also click on these regions. I can also see the summary card for them. Now let's say I want to see the records, the regions that have been handled by my other salesperson as well. And now I want to use the other option, which is by drawing, for the region to be seen for which is handled by my salesperson too. So let's go for the plus sign over here, and I'll be moving to a new search, which means that I'm using by drawing into a new search layer. So here I'll choose by drawing option, and here you can see the drawing tool. I can just use any of these tools, and I can just draw a shape over the map. So let's say this is the region that is handled by my salesperson too, and I can just draw a region over here. You can surely do this just using the polygon option as well, and here you can just click on search. So this is the by drawing option, and here I'll be able to see all of the records that fall into this particular drawn shape. Right. So now let's say I want to see all of these records to be color coded based on any particular attribute. For example, industry. So I'll just go for the plot card, and here I'll choose the industry over here. So that these records will be plotted based on the color coding according to the industries these records fall into. So here now you can see the records have been color coded based on the various industries they fall respectively. Now I realize while I was searching with by region option, I did not choose any category there. So what I can do is that I can simply switch to the earlier search one, and I can use a category here. So here I can just go for, let's say I want to see annual revenue to be the category. Okay, so here I can just choose the annual revenue. I can click on search, and here you will be able to see the records plotted based on the category annual revenue into the regions. Right. So here you can see that though I had gone for I had switched to the earlier search, the search from the second search, which is the by drawing, is still intact into the map, which means that you can surely switch into 2 different searches, and the 2 different searches will be still intact into the map. You are able to see the search results from the by region search and by drawing search both together into the same map. So this is the benefit of this feature, multi-search layer. Now let's say I want to search for all of the records that fall into the nearby regions from my search salesperson's location. So what I can do is that let me go for a new search over here, and I'll be searching for a proximity search into this particular region that is handled by my salesperson one. So I can just click on plus sign, and I'll be going for the new search, and here I can just right click over here. I can set it as current location, and here I'll just put the value over here. So I have given 3 radii, and I can click on search. So here you can see this will plot the proximity search within this particular region, right? So you are able to see how many records the salesperson would be seeing while the salesperson is trying to create a route based on the nearby records that come as a result of a proximity search. So here you can just click on the circle. You are able to see how many records the salesperson would be seeing while the salesperson is trying to search for the nearby record. You can also click on the individual circles into the proximity search. Now let's say I want to do the same thing for my second salesperson as well. So here I can just go for the new search, I can just click on plus and I'll go for the new search. And here I can just right click on the location of my salesperson and let it set as current location. And here I can just put the value over here. Okay, so I'll just okay, and here let's change the value. So I have again put three different values for the proximity search. So here you will be able to see proximity search plotted into this particular drawn shape. So here you can see that the records have been plotted. I can again click on the respective records, the circles, and you will be able to see the count of records and the summary card to see all of the records that fall into the nearby locations of my salesperson, right? So you can understand, if I just zoom out, you will be able to understand that you can see the resultant records from by region, by drawing, and proximity searches based on two different locations. If I just go for plot records card, you can see I have searched for four different searches: by region, by drawing, and proximity searches for two different locations all together into the single map using this feature of multi search layer. Right. So now let's say I want to focus on the resultant records based on by region and by drawing itself without any proximity search. But I don't want to remove the proximity search as well. So here you can surely use this removal option. You can remove if you want to remove any particular searches, but I don't want to remove any search layers, but still I want to see the resultant records from by region and by drawing only. So I can simply go for the layer menu here. You can see the layers that have been plotted on the map, right? You can see the sub layers as well. You can just use this toggle button to just hide the layers that you do not want to see. So here I can just hide the layers of search 3 and search 4, which are the two proximity searches that I plotted on within the region and the drawn shape, right? So here you can see I haven't removed the proximity searches, but I'm able to see the resultant records from the by region and by drawing option without any proximity search. So I have just hidden the results from the proximity search. So this is the benefit of this feature, multi-search layer. Using this feature, you are able to search for the records based on multiple search options along with multiple proximities all together into the single map, and you can also see all of these resultant records together into the form of layers. So this helps you to compare your data based on various search results, and you will be able to analyze your data geographically better. So this was the feature of multi-search layer. Let's move on to the next feature that we have on the list, which is the route to a record. So since I am into India, so I'll just switch to the view of India. So route to a record, as name suggests, it will automatically give you a route to reach any particular customer, right? So here a salesperson, while the salesperson is very busy and he just wants to meet any particular client, so he doesn't have to go to the detailed map and create a route. If he hasn't created a route or prior to his day, so the person can simply go to the respective customer record to which he wants to meet, and they can just simply click on this tab. So this is a very easy option to just add this tab. You can just go to our help file docs.maplytics.com and you can just add this tab into a few minutes. So here you can see I just opened this record and I just went to this tab, and you can see that this route has been plotted automatically. So this is a very easy feature whenever a search salesperson wants to meet a customer and the person wants to have a route plotted very quickly. So they just can go to the respective record of the customer. They can open the tab and you'll be able to see the route plotted automatically. So here I have opened one of the record the from India region, and here you can see the route has been plotted directly, right? So the A point will always be my current location and B point will be the location of this particular record, right? So here you are able to see the route plotted automatically. Now here you can also notice that the the cards are already there, the cards that are already from the detailed map, whatever you see on the detailed map are also available into these cards. So I can just go to the direction card. I have this option of navigation. I can click on these navigation links to navigate myself with the turn by turn directions into the Google map or the Waze app, WAZE. So this is how I can quickly get the route plotted on the map. I can also navigate myself with the turn by turn directions. Now here you can see that everything into the card is available. So which means that you can also perform some more Maplytics features on this particular route as well. Right. For example, I want to see all of the records that lie within nearby region that also fall along the route. So I can just go for the direction card, go to options, and I can select this along the route option, and here I'll have to select the view. So I'm into India, I'll just choose the view of India, and I can click on search. So this will plot the records that are along the route within the nearby region of zero point 0.5 miles of distance from my route. Right, so you can see what which are the customers are existing along the route. You can click on the customers, you can see the tooltip card, you can see further details about the customers. You can also call the person if they are available for a meeting. You can create an appointment, you can create a task, and if you want you can just add the record to the route. So and just click on go, and this will give you the updated route based on the additional customer that you have added to the route. Now let's say you want to search for more records into the nearby region. So here you have additional feature, which is the proximity search. So you can just select any particular location, just set it as current location, and just put the value of the radii. So here I have just put 3 radii over here, and I'm able to see the proximity search plotted on the map, and I'm able to see some more records plotted based on the proximity search. So here I'm able to see some more records. I'm able to click on the push pins. I'm able to further select these push pins as the waypoints to my route as well. If I want to add some more records, I can do so. So I can just add this record to the route, and I can just click on go to see the updated route. Right. So this is how you are able to see the route to any particular customer plotted directly automatically within this particular map. You do not have to do anything. Just come up to the record that you want to go and meet, and you are able to see the route plotted automatically. Now let's move on to the last feature that we have on the list, which is the individual map. So individual map is by default available into the Maplytics solution for accounts, contacts, and leads. So here you can come up to the record, and here you can see the tab of the map. So here you can just go for the map tab, and you will be able to see the individual map on this particular page. So this individual map basically provides you the visualization of the respective record plotted on the map into the orange color pushpin. Right. So you're able to see where your record exists geographically into the map. Now here you can also see, let's say you want to adjust this geocoding that you have got, you can just adjust the geocoding here. So you can just use this push pin, you can just drag it around, and here you will be able to see that the values of the latitude and longitude are changing dynamically. Right. So you can just put the push pin at the right point, and here you can use the save button. So here you can see that it gives you the option whether you want to save the latitude and longitude values only, or do you want to save the address as well. So you can just choose the respective options as per your requirement. Now here, apart from this, you also have this address bar. So here you can just put some value over here. You can just put in, type in some address. It will also give you the options to select, and you can just select it. This will get the record plotted on the respective address. Right, so you can see the push pin has been plotted on the respective address. Now again, you can select this save button. You have this option to save the lat long or both the lat long as well as the address. So you can choose the respective option. Now let me just refresh this page. Now, apart from the location of the respective record, you are able to see the related records as well. So I can just go for the map tab over here, and here you must have noticed there was an additional push pin plotted by default on the map. If I just zoom in into it, here you can see an additional push pin was already plotted on the map. So why is that? So here into my settings, I have chosen one relationship to be the default relationship that should be plotted into the individual map. So here basically I can select various relationships that I want to plot on the map into this individual map. So to do so, you can come up to the entity map. You can go for the Maplytics app settings and the entity map, and here come to the configuration section. So this is the place where you can select the relationships that you want to have plotted on the map. Now here you can see that this is the so here you can see that this is the relationship between the account and the check-in entity. This is the relationship that I have saved as default relationship, which means that whenever I open the accounts record, so I'll be able to see the related check-in plotted there into the individual map by default, which was already plotted by the purple pushpin. Right now here I have also selected some more relationships to be plotted into the individual map. So here you can also use this button to set any relationships that you want to be the default relationship to be plotted into the individual map by default. Now here you can also choose the color for the respective related records. You can also choose the respective push pins for the related records, and instead you can also use this auto set option. So this auto set option basically gives random colors and random push pins to your relationships over here. And now at last you can just click on save. So after you have configured all of these relationships will get listed into the list over here. So if I click on the relations button, you can see all of the relationships that I had selected into my entity map has been listed over here. So if I want to see all of these relations, so I can just select all of these and I can just click on search. So here you can see all of the related records have been plotted on the map. So you can just hover on the push pins, you can further click on the push pins to see further details about those particular related records. Here you can also see some hyperlinks. You can also click on the hyperlink to open the respective record into the CRM. So this is opening the record of the user Sam into the CRM. Right. So this is how you are able to use this individual map to visualize the respective record plotted on the map into the form of pushpin. You can also plot some related records as well. You can use the configuration option to select the relationships to be default relationships that should be plotted on the map as well. So these were all of the major highlights of the features that we have added to our latest release. So now I'll be launching a poll. You can just choose the features that you like the most or you find the most useful. So you can just vote for the features. I have launched the poll. Please vote for the features. I'll wait for 15-20 seconds more. Please vote for the features that you find the most useful or that you like the most. So I'll be closing this poll in a few seconds. You can vote for the features. Okay, so I'm closing the poll now. Thank you so much for voting for the features. And next, let's move on to the Q&A session. Please type in your questions into the chat window and I'll be helping you with the answer. Okay, Susan has asked a question. Can real-time tracking be used in customer service module? Yeah, real-time tracking is available for every module of CRM. You can use it for customer service, sales module, even the field service module as well. Okay, Richard has asked, will the managers be able to see the live location of all their team members? So this you will be able to see the live location of all of the salesperson that are out on the field and have enabled the tracking. Okay, Sergey has asked a question. Is it possible a trial for real-time tracking and the pricing? Yeah, I'll be sharing the pricing into the mail for you. And yes, you can surely try the real-time tracking into the free trial of Maplytics. You can just contact me at crm@inochic.com. I'll be helping you out with a free trial activation instructions. You can activate a free trial and I'll be enabling the real-time tracking for you into the trial. You can also contact me if you're available for a live demonstration of the same. I can demonstrate any Maplytics features, including the real-time tracking, especially based on your mapping requirements. Jerry has asked a question. Can I add PCF control to my custom entity? Yeah, you can add this PCF control to your custom entity as well. You can just go to the docs.maplytics.com. It is very easy to add the detail map control to any of the custom entities. Stacy has asked a question. Can I add a individual map to other entities? So yeah, you can add the individual map to other entities as well. You can just check our help files and you'll be getting the steps to do so. Mark has asked a question. If an entity doesn't have its own address, can it be configured for multi-address feature? Yes, even if the entity doesn't even have its own address, you can choose the option of link to. Basically, link to provides you the ability to fetch the address from a related entity. For example, the opportunity or the appointments. Those do not have their own addresses, right? So you can just use the link to that will relate the field of potential customer. So basically, it will read the address from the related accounts or the contacts. So you are able to configure the link to option as well into the multi-address feature. Amanda has asked a question. Can we search location history for multiple dates? Yeah, you can search for the location history for multiple dates as well. You can choose multiple dates, including multiple users as well. You will be able to track multiple users at multiple dates all together into the same map. And Bob has asked a question. If a person doesn't follow a assigned route, travels to different location, will your feature will show that? Yes, even if the person deviates from the route that was given assigned to the respective salesperson, still that will be tracked and you'll be able to see the two routes there. So when you plot your tracking data on the map, you'll be able to see two routes. One route which was assigned to the sales rep to follow and meet the customers, and one route which was actually traveled by the salesperson, right? So you will be able to differentiate between the two routes and you will be able to see all of the deviations that the person has made while actually traveling to on the field on that particular day. Jake has asked a question. Is route to record feature works on mobile? Yes, if you have configured the tab of route to record into the entity form, you can see that into the mobile as well, mobile or the tablets. Dave has asked, does the real-time tracking gets the GPS location? Yes. While you are using the Maplytics real-time tracking app and you enable the location into it, enable tracking into it, so it will start saving the GPS locations of the device into the CRM for the tracking. And Stephen has asked a question. Do the salesperson need to keep the app open? No, you do not. The salesperson do not need to keep the Maplytics real-time tracking app open all the time. Basically, once you have opened it, enabled the tracking, even the salesperson has not opened it all the time, it will still track the locations of the salesperson. So it will work into the background. Even if the phone gets into the sleep mode, it will still keep the tracking on. Please type in your questions if you have any. Drake has asked a question. What if any issues with the GPS location? Yeah, so you will be getting the individual information for the individual users as well. There's the status of tracking for the individual user. You will be able to see whether the tracking is on. If they have not enabled the tracking, you will be able to know so. And if there is any issue with the GPS location, you'll be able to know there. So for each individual users, you'll be able to know if the tracking is on or not. Please type in your questions if you have any more questions. Okay, so I guess I have answered all of the questions. I'm really glad we have got so many questions for the real-time tracking. So you can just go for the Maplytics App Source website, or you can go for our Maplytics website to get the latest Maplytics solution installed into your dynamic CRM. You can just activate a free trial of Maplytics for 15 days. You can also go for the help files docs.maplytics.com to see step-by-step instructions for each of the features that we have discussed today. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. I hope you liked the demonstration and all of the features that we have added to the release. Please test it out into the free trial and let me know if you have any queries, or if you want a demo specially based on your mapping requirements. Just mail me at crm@inotic.com and I'll be glad to schedule a free demo for you. Thank you so much for joining this webinar again, and we'll be meeting soon again for the next webinar, which will be happening for the upcoming release, which will be towards the most probably towards the end of the year. So we'll be meeting soon there, and let me know if you need anything. Till then, take care. Bye bye.